Now we will be adding the conceptual drawing. We already have like simple ones that we created before, and we will just have to copy them and put them in space. Make sure all the layers are locked and you have the concept layer separated, so you'll be able to find them later. And now I'm going to paste them. Now don't be afraid of having an empty space. Empty space is not bad. You have to keep objects floating, you have to keep them breathing. So if you have, like, for example, an open space here, don't be afraid how it's going to be looking at when it's printed. It's nice because it's giving the object a space to breathe. Same applies to the main building here and to the section. Of course, you can always add little text here and there to fill in the blanks, but if it's a blank area, it's a good area. Not always it means like something is missing. Like, it's important to keep everything breathing and to give them space to be clear. So clarity is important, and it's exactly as important as having things easily read on your poster. Never make things dense or overcomplicated. Always make sure that you choose wisely what you are adding on your poster. So these are the conceptual drawing. We don't need them very big, but at the same time, we don't need them to be too small. Just make sure that you put them in a very readable place that you can actually start by. Normally, I advise put them on the side where you are going to start talking about your project, but it's not always the case. You can have them somewhere else. Just make sure they are not taking space and they are not contrasting with the things around them. Also, we're going to add the isometric drawing, which is the exploded building. Now this one we had as a PNG file, which has a transparent background. I put it here for you to see it. What I did on Illustrator is I added those lines on Illustrator in white, so you'll be able to see them when I put them in this area here. So what we'll do is we'll just select them like that and then copy them and add them like this. And I have them on the same layer as the concept, but I mean, I think you can have them on different layer if you want. There is no problem if there's some trees are coming underneath it. It's always nice to have a mixture of environment and object flowing here and there, so you can keep that. If you find it a little bit disturbing, you can change the opacity of the trees underneath, but for this particular project, I think it's looking fine. It's not overwhelming here. Now, last few touches we can do. You can always change the colors for everything, and I'll show you in a minute. For now, I'm going to add the text. If you want to start with the section, always make sure you choose a font that's readable, that is not complicated, and for this exercise, it has to be minimal because we don't have overly complicated things in here. So if you write it all in lowercase, you can just go to type, change case, and uppercase, and then you will have it all in uppercase without having to rewrite things on Illustrator. This is really good. So section A150. Don't have to have a very large font. This is an A1, so it's going to be readable. Make sure the font that you choose is not overwhelming and not actually bold, not I don't mean bold, like not drawing attention from whatever element it's next to. So for example, this is going to be plan. I'm going to copy it because it's better to use one font and one font size for everything that you're working on. So this is going to be the plan. So I'm going to type on floor, for example, 150. I think this is too big, but you can always change the size of this together. So I'm going to select both of them and I'm going to make it a little smaller. Maybe the section can be here. Now for the concept, so I'm going to put it here. Now for your name, it's up to you. You can actually have extra space. You can add it here very easily, like in a simple thing, simple font, simple everything, or you can put it here somewhere. Now, I recommend always choosing corners. It's not very overwhelming. And I think in this design, it's nice to have it like double the size, but not very complicated. This is your name and this is your number, and you can have the project name next to it. Don't make your name very huge. Don't want it to draw attention. Just enough information in the project, about the project, and you can have here the project's name, unit number, that's it. Just keep it simple. If you have any other drawings that you want to add or any text, you can easily add them in the empty space, but make sure you don't add a lot of it. So if you have any explanation that you want to do about the design concept or anything, you can always add it here. We have like a dummy text here. It's nice to add them here, but make sure that the color that you're using on the background contrast enough and it's red enough. So in this case, for example, maybe we have to change the color of the trees. So if I unlock the trees layer and I make them less, so then they will be more readable. And if you need to add any other text, maybe you can separate the paragraphs. Also use separation. Don't use one big paragraph in anything you do. Always have short paragraphs. And if you want to add some information here, let's say short paragraph, you can have, let's have another, I forgot to create another layer for the text, so I'm going to do that now. What I'll do is I'll select all the big text we have and just drop them there. Now underneath this text, I'm going to create a layer. I'll say text box, and I can have a box that surrounds this text, and this box could be white, and I could give it a little transparency just so it merges with the color underneath. And then I can have like some written information I want to add about this building. In addition to this, you could have other text boxes here, but I don't recommend it because it's going to draw attention to it. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please let us know if you have any question at all.